From real voices to synthesized reporting, this is Neural Newscast, where AI meets journalism.
Welcome to Neural Newscast. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. On this November 20th, 2025, we remember. On this day in 1945, the landmark Nuremberg trials kicked off in Germany, prosecuting top Nazi officials for war crimes and crimes against humanity after World War II. It set a powerful precedent for international justice and accountability.
This is Chad Thompson. I created Neural Newscast to make it easier to keep up with the world without the noise. If you're finding it helpful, head to neuralnewscast.com to explore all our shows, recaps, and reports.
From the political beat, here's what's new. Reuters reports President Donald Trump signs an order directing the Justice Department to release Jeffrey Epstein-related records within 30 days, according to administration officials. Federal prosecutors say Florida Representative Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick is indicted in an alleged $5 million disaster relief fraud scheme. More from our reporter. Here's what Daniel Groves found.
The Justice Department says U.S. Representative Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick of Florida is indicted on federal charges alleging theft of $5 million in disaster relief funds, with some proceeds allegedly directed to her 2021 campaign. Prosecutors outline counts including wire fraud and campaign finance violations. Her attorneys have not entered a plea. The case, election officials say, underscores how misuse of disaster funds erodes public trust. Oversight of emergency aid spending and campaign compliance will be central issues as the case moves forward. This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
AP reports Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and the Department of Homeland Security trade accusations over vetting of a truck driver from Uzbekistan who later faced deportation. Monica Kellen has more on this.
AP reports Governor Josh Shapiro says a truck driver from Uzbekistan appeared in a federal database before the state issued him a commercial license. Shapiro argues the Department of Homeland Security failed to flag the man during verification. DHS counters that state vetting missed key warnings. The dispute follows the driver's arrest and deportation proceedings, raising questions about coordination. Shapiro says, if the feds had alerted us, we would have acted. Lawmakers now press for tighter data sharing and real-time checks for all commercial licenses. This is Monica Kellen for Neural Newscast.
Now, let's share the latest from abroad. Reuters reports senior U.S. military officials are in Kyiv as European leaders warn against a reported Russian peace plan. Turning to Sarah Wheaton for details.
Reuters and European officials say a high-level U.S. military delegation arrives in Kyiv as leaders in the EU warn against a reported Russian peace plan that would demand major concessions from Ukraine. Reports describe a multi-point proposal that Kyiv rejects if it trades territory for a ceasefire. EU diplomats caution Moscow could use talks to lock in battlefield gains. The visit signals continued U.S. backing for Ukraine's defenses ahead of winter strikes. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine seeks a just peace that restores sovereignty and security. The Kremlin has not confirmed any plan. This is Sarah Wheaton for Neural Newscast.
Gaza health authorities say at least 25 people are killed after Israeli strikes, according to international media reports. Israel has not confirmed the toll. The BBC reports some migrants in the UK could face waits of up to 20 years for settled status under proposed residency rules, advocacy groups warn. AP reports a mass trial opens in North Macedonia over a nightclub fire that killed 63 people. Here's what Thomas Golding found.
Prosecutors in Skopje say a mass trial opens over a nightclub fire that killed 63 people, with 35 individuals and 3 institutions facing charges. AP reports years of safety failures allegedly turned the venue into a death trap. The case examines code violations, blocked exits, and inadequate inspections. Families seek accountability for one of the country's deadliest peacetime disasters. The court will weigh negligence, oversight lapses, and possible corruption. A ruling could reshape enforcement of fire and building standards nationwide. This is Thomas Golding for Neural Newscast.
Indonesia's disaster agency says Mount Semeru erupts on Java, forcing evacuations and blanketing nearby villages in ash. Lydia Holmes is here with more details.
Indonesia's disaster agency reports Mount Semeru erupts on Java, sending ash thousands of meters into the sky and dusting nearby villages. Emergency officials evacuate hundreds, moving families to shelters and handing out masks and tarps. Authorities warn of possible cold lava flows as rain mixes with ash in river channels. Flights monitor conditions and airports remain open. Semeru is Indonesia's highest volcano and among its most active, last causing major damage in 2021. Residents are urged to stay outside a 5-kilometer exclusion zone. This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
Sophia Reed has the latest from the Philippines.
According to the Philippine Department of Justice and local media, former Bombayan Mayor Alice Guo faces human trafficking allegations tied to a guarded compound linked to online scam hubs. Prosecutors say workers were coerced while forced to run fraud operations. Guo denies wrongdoing. Officials say the case is part of a broader crackdown on scam centers and alleged local protection networks. Court proceedings continue, and authorities describe ongoing efforts to identify victims and dismantle cross-border cyber scam rings. This is Sophia Reed for Neural Newscast.
Financial news and market trends up next. Reuters reports Wall Street is pouring money into artificial intelligence, even as some executives warn the market looks frothy. Ethan Wells reports on this story.
Reuters reports investors pour trillions into artificial intelligence as executives warn of froth in the market. Google CEO Sundar Pichai says there are elements of irrationality, even as big tech spends heavily on data centers and chips. Investors chase growth in generative AI tools, promising productivity gains and new revenue. Venture funding surges for startups building models, infrastructure, and enterprise software. Cloud providers sign multi-year deals for advanced GPUs, lifting semiconductor valuations. Supporters see long-term demand across industries. Skeptics warn profit timelines may slip as energy, talent, and compute costs climb. This is Ethan Wells for Neural Newscast.
Tech stories shaping our future. UK regulators fine a deepfake nudify site and open probes into major porn platforms for suspected safety breaches, officials say. Benjamin Carter is here with more details.
UK regulators fine a deepfake nudify site £55,000 for skipping age checks, officials say, and open investigations into 20 porn sites for suspected online safety violations. The case spotlights AI tools that strip clothes from images, turning harassment into click-and-share abuse. The technology is cheap, fast, and scalable, multiplying harm. Strong age gates and identity checks emerge as a new baseline for adult platforms. Regulators signal more penalties if sites ignore safety rules and enable non-consensual deepfakes. This is Benjamin Carter for Neural Newscast.
Environmental challenges and solutions ahead. Officials report destructive flooding in Spain's Valencia after record rains across the region. Stephen Summers joins us with the latest.
AP and Spain's weather agency report explosive downpours batter Valencia, with flooding surging before alerts reach parts of the city. Residents scramble to move cars and belongings as water rises. Scientists link intensifying rain extremes to climate change. The storms batter the Iberian Peninsula and leave communities reassessing flood defenses and early warning systems. This is Stephen Summers for Neural Newscast.
Now, let's share the latest in entertainment. AP reports the Grand Ole Opry celebrates 100 years on the air, marking a century of country music. Let's hear from Lydia Holmes.
The Grand Ole Opry marks 100 years on the air, a century of live country music. The Nashville show debuts in 1925 and grows into a national stage. It launches stars from Hank Williams to Dolly Parton and Garth Brooks. It survives format shifts, television, and streaming, while honoring roots at the Ryman and Opry House. Curators say the Opry keeps evolving, reflecting changing sounds and audiences decade by decade. This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
AP reports Ripley's Believe It or Not says it bought a $12 million, 18-karat gold toilet by artist Mauricio Catalan for its collection. Turning to Lucas Bennett for details.
Ripley's Believe It or Not says it bought the $12 million, 18-karat gold toilet by Italian artist Maurizio Catalan. The first edition vanished in a 2019 theft at England's Blenheim Palace. This new addition joins Ripley's collection with tighter security. Catalan once invited visitors to use it, calling the work America. The company says the piece will anchor exhibits highlighting provocative contemporary art. This is Lucas Bennett for Neural Newscast.
Time for the latest urgent developments. That's our coverage for this hour. For more, visit neuralnewscast.com and follow us on your favorite platform. That's the news shaping our world today. For expanded coverage and real-time updates, explore neuralnewscast.com and subscribe to stay ahead of the headlines. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. Thanks for being with us.
From deep dives to daily news, Neural Newscast has you covered. Explore more at nnewscast.com. Neural Newscast combines real voice recordings with synthesized voices to enable prompt production without sacrificing quality. All content is generated using advanced AI algorithms developed by a human and undergoes fact-checking and human review prior to release. While we strive for factual, non-biased reporting and actively work to prevent AI hallucinations, AI-generated content can occasionally contain errors. Listeners are encouraged to verify critical information from trusted sources. For more details on our AI transparency policies, visit nnewscast.com.